We all have many childhood memories. So, what are your favorite ones? How far back can you remember? Was it the warm snuggle of your sister? Or that story that you insisted to read every night? That toy that you found too hard to share? Or perhaps a game that you loved to play? Or that one time you were caught playing a prank on your grandmothers? Each one of us carries many memories from different events of that age. But what makes these memories really special is remembering how we felt. That feeling of being pampered, loved, cared for. Unfortunately, this is not the case for more than 32 million children under 6 years of age in India who live in extreme poverty. Their stories are dominated by hunger, sickness, violence, and neglect of being robbed of their early childhood opportunities. This is a picture of a typical construction site where women work and care for their children at the same place. Under a falling tent, with lots of little children, a few toys, and a rather lost worker, the creche movement of India was born in 1969. Creches for children of migrant workers at their work sites provides a caring environment during their childhood. Migrating young children are found along with their families across construction sites, tea and coffee plantations, brick kilns, factories, agricultural fields, all those industries that employ high numbers of migrant labor. Closer to urban neighborhoods, they are the neglected children of domestic workers, waste pickers, street vendors, security guards, women who keep the cities moving through their labor. Have you ever wondered where our house help leaves behind her young children when she comes to work? More than 95% of women in India's workforce are actually employed in the unorganized sector, excluded from maternity and childcare entitlements. Their young children are the invisible citizens of India. Childcare is a real need. It has the phenomenal power to create an inclusive, equitable, and progressive India by caring for children during their most critical period of development and at the same time enabling poor women to work, earn, and make choices for their own well-being and those of their families. Our organization provides creches and daycare services to children as young as a few weeks old to up to 12 years of age. It is a nurturing environment because our creche teams ensure adequate nutrition through freshly cooked meals, regular health services, and age-appropriate learning through lots of play and creative activities. The creches run 6 days a week, 8 hours a day, matching with the timings of the working families. And the glue that binds all this together is that trained creche worker who loves and cares for the children as her very own. Quite literally, from the sandbox of a construction site, 50 years ago, the founding team of Mobile Creches, the organization that I work with, started a gentle revolution. Fed on the hopes of independence, they responded to the calls of building a new India by caring for its youngest citizens. Malti here is a testament to the power of caring childhoods. Malti and her siblings lived on the streets of Old Delhi, whilst their father worked as a rickshaw puller and mother as a cleaner. Government removed the squatters and the siblings moved to live with their grandmother in Simapuri, a resettlement colony of Delhi. The children started attending the creche that we ran in their neighborhood. They ate, studied, played, slept at the center, often their meals at the creche being the only ones during the day. Yes, life was hard. Education and a better life was unimaginable. Yet, Malti and her sisters went on to attend school, complete their education, and pursue careers. Malti herself came back to work with us, growing through her experiences of being a creche worker, a supervisor, a trainer, and leaving us 15 years later as the lead creative arts team member. In the dust and grime, amongst exploited workers, hungry and abused children, lies the simple theory of change for societal transformation. An early childhood development period marked by good health, proper nutrition, early learning, a safe and protective environment, and a trained worker, and above all, love and care, has the transformative effect to disrupt the cycle of poverty across multiple generations. It changed Malti's life. But that's not all. It changed Malti's daughter's life too, because she benefited from an educated, informed, financially independent mother. Today, Malti's daughter is a dental hygienist. Malti cared. Her daughter will care for the next generation. It's an irreversible change. More than 80% of our brain develops before a child is 3 years old. Children's early experiences and the bonds they form deeply affect their future cognitive, physical, social, and emotional development. Economies grow when early childhood is a priority. Studies show up to a 17% return per child per year through better health, education, economic, and social returns. A universal early childhood development program can help address the education and employability crisis staring at us. But hungry stomachs and sick bodies cannot help solve India's education and unemployment problems. 1 in 3 children under the age of 5 in India is underweight. Every second child in India under the age of 5 is anemic. Government's ambitious nutrition program, Poshan Abhiyan, attempts to tackle malnutrition of such vulnerable young children, especially in the poorest districts of India, in a mission mode. However, there is a catch. Food without someone to feed at that young age, when families are away working, denies children their daily nutritional requirements, amounting to children's neglect. Devi would know about hungry children. During one of the mothers' meetings, she insisted to me that I instruct the creche teams to keep the centers open on Sundays. On asking her why she wouldn't want to spend time on her only weekly off days with her little babies, she had a practical response. She couldn't afford to buy the milk, eggs, and fruits both her severely malnourished children required daily. Being a single parent, she did odd jobs on a Sunday to supplement her income as a construction site helper. She didn't have the time to feed her children. Migrant labor moves in a circular path in our country from their homes in their villages to their places of work in ever-expanding cities such as Bangalore. They may stay at a site for as less as a few weeks to 6 months or so. We are lucky if a child attends one of our centers for 4 months or more. The centers may be temporary, but they're set up in such a way that they meet good quality standards in responding to the holistic needs of every child. Little did our founding team know how hard it would be to reach a shelter, a responsive caregiver, and the bare essentials of care to countless migrant children living in such difficult circumstances across the vast breadth of our country. Yet, the systems and standards for running these creches have become so universally accepted by employers, government, and NGOs who care to provide early childhood services that mobile creches is now used as a generic term across many states and settings. Of course, it includes robust monitoring systems to track children's health and nutrition progress and to measure childcare practices of both mothers and fathers. In 2019, more than 70% of the children who attended our creches improved their nutritional status. More than 80% of the children above the age of 6 years enrolled in the nearby primary schools and went on to complete an entire academic year overcoming a big challenge of migrating families. Not just that, parents themselves improve their own understanding about the importance of a healthy, balanced diet, simple care measures such as washing hands, and the value of talking and playing with their young children. Last year, we reached out to a little over 15,000 children. But that's not enough at all. Every second child in India, yes, that's more than half of India's children, face some form of sexual abuse. According to government figures, since 2015, there has been a 38% increase in sexual crimes against children under 6 years of age. And these are only the registered cases. Imagine the hundreds that go unreported, unregistered. As citizens of this country, we have a responsibility to provide a safe and protective environment for all our children. In response to this enormous early childhood care need, Mobile Creches is scaling up its evidence-based model to provide creches and daycare services to vulnerable young children of migrant workers, in partnership with employers, government, NGOs, and the community itself. For Rs 25,000 per child per year, by 2025, we aim to reach out to more than 200,000 children. This scale model has been piloted, reviewed, and practiced over the last 4 years, and we have hard evidence through an external evaluation that it works. In any scale-up plan to expand childcare services, partnerships with the employers is critical, because this is a smart investment for the employers. Economies grow due to increase in childcare and contributes to the business productivity through the increased incomes of having higher numbers of women in the workforce. A 2015 McKinsey study estimates that global GDP could increase by up to $12 trillion if all countries match their gender parity, both participation and pay, to the best performing countries in their region. And childcare is a key to achieving this parity. Childcare is also the right investment for employers, because early childhood is the foundation for human capital formation. Economists point out to the prospects of India benefiting from its demographic dividend. It is said that India has the potential of overtaking many growing economies by 2040, when its youthful population would be at its peak. The young child today holds the key to reaping the benefits of this demographic dividend, if all children receive the right opportunities to realize their full human potential now. Our Constitution guarantees fundamental rights to all children. Yet, the foundational rights to survive, to thrive, to transform their health and human potential is repeatedly denied to young children. In our interactions with the government, we must urge the state to take every step to guarantee children their freedom. Freedom against injustice, inequality, and indignity. And to foster young children's full participation and equal participation in building a peaceful and progressive India. You and I have a responsibility to care for the future of our youngest citizens, our country's poorest children. Today, tomorrow is too late. By making them visible, by talking about them, by showing them that we care. If we change the beginning of the story, we change the whole story. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.